Right now, everyone is talking about the Airbnb bust that's happening in the US. Prices are down, regulations are up, and in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly what I'm doing personally to make sure my calendar stays fully booked. Not only that, but I'm also gonna show you guys where I think the money's heading, where the future of Airbnb and the experiences that people are gonna be looking for in their vacation travel. For those of you who don't know, my name's Noah. I've hosted hundreds of stays here in North Austin where I have several Airbnbs. I've used this money to invest in Mexico. It's where my family is. Right now they're building a 12-room boutique hotel complex that has an infinity edge pool. I think the area also is going to provide some experiences that people are going to find very unique and valuable. For instance, it's going to offer massages, it's going to have views of the ocean, and it's right near the beach. So there's a lot of things that happen right there. So the first part of this video, I want to get into what exactly the Airbnb bust is, why it happened. What do people even mean when they say Airbnb bust? So when people say that, they're referring to the oversaturation of the Airbnb market that has happened over the last couple of years. This happened because people saw the easy money. They mainly in cities, large cities such as Austin, Seattle, Miami, these places, they saw that there was a lot of people traveling. There wasn't a lot of Airbnbs to just support the demand. As a result, landlords specifically who had just used their places as long-term rentals saw the potential for 3-4 times earnings on their place. If they just listed it, they just had to deal with a little more management plus the cleaning fees. As a result of this, the supply of Airbnbs rose dramatically, the demand stayed kind of the same, and as a result of this, you just have a way oversupply and then the demand's still the same. This has caused landlords who aren't professional Airbnb hosts, who don't manage their property with the right systems, don't have the right cleaning services in place. They're just losing money, and they're even seeing that, all right, well, maybe it's worth it just to move to a long-term rental, or they shouldn't have bought the Airbnb in the first place. So now they're in trouble just seeing the market that they're just trying to sell and just get out. Me personally, I've seen this happen here in North Austin with the Airbnbs, but I have. And what have I done to counteract this? So Airbnb, it's a great platform. It's where most of the short-term bookings still to this day happen. However, you got to pivot specifically to direct bookings and to other booking platforms. Using these other platforms such as Vrbo, Expedia, Priceline, Booking.com, having your place on there helps with the fees and just makes you not as dependent on Airbnb to get those calendar dates booked that you don't have. In peak season, this really isn't a problem, but when you guys as hosts know it slows down, you guys need to have other income, you guys need to have the properties on these other platforms to help just keep the calendar full. The one I really want to emphasize, and I think that if you guys can get locked in, it's going to be a huge profit generator for you, is direct bookings. If you can lock this down like I have here in Austin, I think it's going to be a huge revenue source. One, for the fees, and two, because you can control it personally. You're not relying on these big corporations. So first, I'm going to explain the fee part. A quick history lesson on Airbnb. When it started at the beginning, it used to charge the guests the 15% fee. This fee, it's pretty high, and the guests, they complained enough, so the company shifted the fee from the guests to the hosts. And because the hosts, we have more sunk cost, it's harder for us to pivot to just get out of Airbnb. We just have had to absorb that increased cost and just increase our bottom line. Just costs more to operate an Airbnb business. And because Airbnb is a company, they have to make money like all these other softwares. It makes sense. They want to charge as many fees as possible to get the most revenue as possible. This is why shifting from Airbnb to these other platforms and direct bookings doesn't put you you're not dependent on the fees they charge. Right now it's 15%. I mean, it could jump to 18 to 20 when you guys are watching this video. They're in control of that. And if you're a host, it's going to be a lot harder to pivot away from that platform if you don't have other sources to keep your calendar full. So how do you get a direct booking system started? And what's the main reason people don't do it? A lot of people don't do it, I've seen, because of insurance reasons. They're worried that someone's going to drown in their pool. They're worried that someone's going to fall in their house is going to burn down, things like that could happen, which is unlikely, but I mean, it could, and that's why insurance exists. So here in Austin, there's insurance companies like there are everywhere in the world, and they insure your house separately from Airbnb and these other softwares. Airbnb does have air cover, you get their team support and all that, but these other softwares too offer their plans. But Airbnb, for instance, like the one in Round Rock, it has a pool. Just to have it on Airbnb with a pool, they require that you have independent insurance apart for that. It's around $3,000 a year, I think, the last time I checked, just to pay for that insurance. So anyway, just by paying that insurance for the pool, it's just one instance that if you wanted to get that, you could get it for the short-term rental for the house and what exactly you're worried about, get that product. So that way you're covered under Airbnb and whatever other product you're getting. And if it's not through Airbnb, you can get a book direct to you and use that savings that you're going to make and not having those fees to help pay down the insurance as well. If you haven't had your Airbnbs for a long time, you're probably going to be thinking, all right, so how do I get people that don't know who I am to get my property booked? How do I funnel them in? So the way to get them is funnel marketing. I actually have a background in marketing. That's what I went to school for. So the concept of funnel marketing that I'm going to explain real quick is how these big companies, they spend billions of dollars on it, get their customers in, and how you can do the same. So what it is, it starts at the top. You need to make people aware that you exist. You need people to understand that, all right, if I go visit this area, there's this person, there's this organization that offers me, a good place to stay with events. After they acknowledge that you exist, then they move down the funnel to interested. All right, so they've given you their contact information. You give them some sort of discount to get their phone number. They become part of your email list, and you send them this information. So when they do travel, a lot of people, they do repeat visits to the same spot, same region, visit family, or they have some other reason. They just same general area. They just like going there. So they'll find your spot. They have a good experience. They'll see, all right, you're running some sort of promotion. Instead of booking on these other platforms, let's just directly book, and then they'll reach out, directly book, and they'll move to the bottom, which is convert and become a customer. By doing this, you could even charge lower prices because you don't have to do anything with the fees. And at the very basic, you can just have them reach out, have your contact information on a website. They'll reach out to you. You can block out those dates on the calendar, and they can, Zelle, Venmo, Cash App, just a form of payment to pay you for the stay. If you get more sophisticated, pay for a software. There's a lot of softwares that help with the calendars, Price Labs, AirDNA. These softwares, they help to make sure that you don't double book, which is something I struggled with in the beginning. You got to make sure if it's booked on Airbnb, you got to block it out on Vrbo, block it out on Airbnb, you got to block it out independently. You got to make sure that these things are blocked out so you don't run into problems, which I have, of people, double booking, and then you're trying to refund, and, sometimes it's, they're not too happy about that if they've already planned the trip, booked it, thought it was all good to go, and then, oh well, the host canceled for no reason. That's led to, a bad review in the past, and then it's, a whole battle to try to get that removed. So now that we've gone over exactly what I'm doing to make sure my calendar stays full by diversifying from Airbnb to these other platforms and direct bookings and how to get those direct bookings, I want to go into what I see in the future. What I think investing in is going to be a smart decision, because people aren't only looking for a place to stay. A lot of people see hotels as something that can offer that. They're looking for experiences and something memorable that they can not just go and spend the night, but go somewhere and just remember the place, have something that has experiences that cater to what they're going to experience. Let's say you're going somewhere, you want a tour of something. If you can have a place that offers tours, offers meals, something unique to that area. For instance, my place in Mexico, it's by the beach with ocean view. It's going to be great for massages. There's a waterfall nearby, so I can do tours of the waterfall, tours on the boat of the ocean. All things like that are looking very good just because of the area. If it was something, Japanese themed, let's say you could make them sushi, have a how to make sushi class. Just things that provide a unique experience. You can see on Airbnb, it actually already has an experiences tab. Not only the tab that's a booking platform, but it's also providing experiences because it's seeing the trend of people moving and looking for more things that people can provide. And not only as a differentiator, not only does this make you unique as a host compared to the other ones in your market, but it also provides a big incentive for profit. Let's say people go to stay and you don't make money on the actual room, but you make a lot of money on these services that you can offer. You can upsell them these experiences. This is why I think boutique hotels and areas that can offer these experiences are going to be very valuable in the future. And if you can offer these now or look into how you can offer them, you don't even have to offer them yourself, but if you can make some sort of affiliate relationship with people who offer these already, you get some sort of cut by referring people. I think that's just another source of revenue that can really help just drive the money you're making up. And that's why, you're in the business of a short-term rental. You're trying to make money in this way with this investment. In conclusion, in this video, we've gone over exactly what the Airbnb bust is, how you can deal with it from moving just from Airbnb as your main platform to having it, but also in addition to other platforms, booking.com, Vrbo, all these other places, and really trying to focus on your direct booking website. And just even if you can't afford that now, just having something that people can book directly with you in a way to save money. Start developing that funnel. We also saw that in the future, the money is now going towards experiences and something more unique, not just a place to stay, which I think if you can provide this is going to be great for your listings in the future. If you want to see more content like this, my channel is all about Airbnb, how to optimize your systems, how to grow it, what I'm doing, and just everything to do with that. I appreciate the subscribe and thanks for watching the video.